Now, coming to you live from atop the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's the one, the only, Puclpodcast.
It's PucL! PucL! It's PucL! PucL! Pokemon Underground Champions League, oh yeah! PucL! PucL.
Welcome to another episode of the PUCL Podcast. I am your host, Trainer Thatch, here today with my wonderful co-hosts. We've got the one and only Basket.
What's up, PucL peeps?
And we've got the man of mystery himself, Seth Vilo.
Or am I?
Welcome to the PUCL Podcast. Welcome to the PUCL Podcast. PUCL, of course, standing for the Pokemon Underground Champions League, a nonsensical name we came up with in 2010 or 2007. Oh my gosh.
One of them years.
Yeah, one of those years back. No, because it's actually, this is important. This is the 15th year of PUCL. Fun fact.
Oh, yeah, it is, isn't it?
Wow.
Yeah, I forgot too until a couple weeks ago. And we talk everything here, Pokemon, from the trading card game to the video game to everything in between. Today's trading card game, though.
Woo!
Yeah, I would ask you guys what you did in Pokemon this week, where I usually interrupt anyway. Because I haven't done anything. Honestly, in Pokemon, I've done very little. I've played some Showdown, and that's about it this week. This week, I was like mostly recalibrating at work. And getting back into like doing work again.
As have all of us.
Yep. So I didn't do too much Pokemon. I've been like waiting for new cards to come in too, because like I want to go to League, but I played Lugia, and I'll probably still keep playing Lugia for a bit, but I want to play a little bit different in person.
Mm-hmm.
Just to like not feel like I'm an awful Pokemon player. Sometimes. I mean, to be fair, I like after the regional, I don't feel terrible because a lot of the ties I had were probably going to be wins.
Yeah, that's always a good feeling.
Yeah. And so it's just more of a, I just want to go play something stupid and have some fun trying to be stupid with it.
Heck yeah. That's what this is all about.
Yeah.
Being stupid.
Yep. Well, so you guys been up to anything cool? Anything recent happening?
How about you, Basket? You can go ahead and lead off.
I'm still trying to beat Scarlet.
Oh, man.
Really?
Yeah.
To be fair, you can get lost.
Yeah. I'm working a lot too, and so going back and forth between that and drawing has been pretty crazy.
Oh.
Makes sense.
You been drawing anything cool?
Yes.
And we'll leave it at that.
I get the sense that he can't go any further, so
we'll leave it there.
Yeah. So I have, since I've last been on, which has been like roughly a month, that's usually how often I'm on, we did the regional together. That was great fun. But one thing that I got really into and didn't realize was like right on the doorstep time-wise here recently was the whole terastallization suspect test. I thought I had an extra week left, and I definitely did not last weekend. So I was attempting to blitz through getting ladder requirements as quickly as I could. I ended up not making it. I fell just a little bit short right before 11:59. So bummer, but that was what I was doing a lot of Showdown. I'm doing a lot more of it in general, learning about, regular ladder, VGC even. I'm trying to get a grasp on that now, which is great fun. And of course, TCG stuff. When
I first did VGC, so I was kind of like a Smogon purist for a little while, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where I was just like, oh, I'm only ever going to play, Showdown because 6v6 singles is the way Pokemon is meant to be played.
Right, exactly.
Yes, please.
I don't disagree with this, by the way, still.
Yeah.
But when I started getting more serious about it, like back in Gen 7, when I was actually going to go do things and try to play around with it, I found a deeper appreciation for it because in singles, and I mean, this is the argument that like, I don't want to say this is I don't want to give this argument exactly because this is the one that like, I really hate when I see it pop up on Twitter where people are just like, well, when you're in 6v6, there's only 5 potential things you could do. But in doubles, there's way more.
What?
Because you could like choose to single target an opponent, or you can switch into another, either slot could switch, right? Stuff like that.
I mean,
so, like,
okay, sure.
Yeah, and they're like, so it makes it way more complicated. but there is a different thought process. And I mean, it's clicked for me a couple of times. I'm definitely very rusty and I can't get it to click yet again, especially in the new format. I'm figuring it out. It's not too bad. There's just so many new things, especially since I didn't really participate in Gen 8's VGC format.
Right.
Especially in like the past like year and a half when it was just like Zacian's here.
You're right.
Enjoy.
Exactly.
Have fun, Thatch.
Have this stupid Pokemon.
yeah, have fun.
Now we just have a stupid fish.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Dondozo is not actually that oppressive.
Not really.
It's really not that oppressive. I'm very happy with the way the meta is balanced. Things are going pretty well with that, but yeah, I've come to appreciate VGC more. I do want to play 6v6 OU because I do believe that is the best way to play the game. And if they wanted me to play doubles, they should make it the playthrough doubles. They really should
have more than one fight.
Yeah, they should.
That is a doubles fight.
Yeah,
that was silly.
They should legitimately at least have more doubles. I do agree with that. Like I was amazed in this game how actually there were no double battles outside of the gym.
Right?
Like
None
I was
at
amazed.
All. Unless we missed them.
I think Sword and Shield was the same way, to some extent. I don't know that you actually double battled anybody until you got to Raihan.
Yeah, I don't remember any double battles at all.
Yeah, so I kind of don't like that.
Oh well, yeah, I'm with you though.
But I do think VGC is fun. I do think the thought process there is different. I understand why they do it too, mostly because it's faster, I think.
Yeah.
And then 6v6, like 6v6 could take you all the way to like 60 minutes.
What? No.
Yes, Seth.
Never.
Yeah, we have a history. Yeah,
Never.
But
what are you even talking about?
I enjoy VGC though.
I've never had 300 turn battles that lasted an hour. Me?
Yeah.
No.
No, never. Never. But yeah, I like playing in VGC. I think it's a good time. It's definitely not the same as playing singles, but you can get into a groove, especially if you find a team that clicks. I find that's really the bigger thing in VGC, is that everybody's got a play style. And if you find your play style that clicks, it really works out. Because I remember when I did that regional back in 2018 when I did it, like I didn't know what I was doing going in. I had practiced a ton, like maybe 2-3 weeks where I maybe played like on average like 3 or 4 hours a day. Which nobody should do, by the way. Well, I was a student. So I was a grad student.
That makes sense.
So like it was also like mostly on Showdown, and I say like 3 to 4 hours like on average throughout the day, because if you're like, oh, I got to work, you know what? Let me spend like 15 minutes here, and then like whenever there's like a 15-minute break, just like do it, right?
Totally, yeah.
And so that happened a lot, and then maybe an hour or two at home in the evening, and so it ended up working out pretty well in that regard. So I still walked up and I didn't know what I was doing. And I just remember it was round 3 where like the team, because I had just stolen the team from somebody else, right?
Heck yeah. Thievery, piracy, yar.
I think I made like one adjustment to the team, and I went in and there was just like a moment I was playing against a guy. I was at it was round 4 because I was at the 2-1 table and something just clicked.
That's such a good feeling.
Something just clicked, and I don't know what it was. And I just go, I know exactly. I'm like, I know what your next 3 moves are.
Right? Isn't that's that moment of like limitless?
Yeah, yeah. I was just like, I know what your next 3 moves are, and I just like went. It was a great time. That was like that felt really good.
Everything you're gonna say.
Yeah. No, it's pretty much that, right? I mean, I've definitely had those moments in 6v6 and OU a lot. Like, especially back in the day when we were doing it on stream every single time. And I would be playing like 3-4 hours of OU against viewers. Like I got really good at OU where I could just sit down and predict like the next like 3 or 4 moves.
Yeah. I'm like that. I had moments like that during the suspect test too, with like laddering and stuff like that. Because I had seen, especially because a lot of people, they'll post their teams that they'd got success with, and then other people will steal them and try to ladder themselves. I'm guilty of that. Others are guilty of that.
I'm guilty of that, yeah.
I would be like, I have seen you before. I recognize your username and team. I know what you're going to do.
Oh, no. Yeah, I really, I mean, when it clicks, it just feels good.
Yeah.
And I'm just not in that shape anymore. I want to be. Maybe one day.
Yeah. But that's what I've been up to, I guess.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I stole that from you, Seth.
No, I piped in just as much. It's fine.
Yeah.
I think my biggest problem with that kind of stuff is trying to figure out how to beat the player instead of just trying to beat the Pokemon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. I do agree with that.
Because I'm always just trying to beat the Pokemon, and I can never figure out the player. That's never in my scope, right? I'm never thinking about that. I'm just like, okay, this Pokemon's here. I'm gonna do this. And there's been times where I've like kind of forced myself to think that way, and then you're like, okay, well, their best chances if they do this or that.
Exactly.
I have no idea. 50-50 shot here in my mind, right? And then trying to figure that out. But yeah, that's the best I've ever come to.
No, I do agree with that. I definitely struggle with that, especially nowadays, right? Because I think I have the opposite problem though, where like I over prep for that, where I'm trying to play against the player too much sometimes, and then I miss like the very obvious play.
Yeah,
and so that happens. That's been happening to me a lot. So hopefully we could all get better, right?
That's why we're here.
I've been laddering, right? But yeah, we're gonna go ahead. Let's go ahead and kick it on over to the news because there's some fun stuff to talk about. So we will catch you guys on the flip flop.
Coming to you live from the Lavender Town Radio Tower. This just in.
Welcome to the news. In the news, we've got a few things to talk about. Not a ton of things, but a few. I think the most important, at least for me, in my heart of hearts, is that this Friday, January 13th, is when Japan starts showing the episodes, the final 11 episodes of the anime, which is like Ash's send-off. So if you want to keep up with those, you could do that. They also did just recently announce like the next 2 episode titles and plot synopses. I think the second episode is going to have Misty and Ash trying to compete to catch a Clauncher, if I'm not mistaken.
That's cute.
Yeah. And then they're going to go back and then apparently they're going to meet up with Brock and Silent because apparently Brock just got his heart broken by another girl.
What?
Yeah. These 11 episodes, I assume, are just going to be like a wild ride of nostalgia.
Right. I'm excited. I hope Ash gets Misty her bike back finally and we close that loop because that needs to happen.
Please stop, Seth. Do not hurt me. Stop it. The people that post that on Twitter frustrate me to no end because Misty did get her bike back.
No. What happens? What happens here? Ash gives her bike back, but on the seat is a box, and you don't see what's in the box.
Ash, she already got her bike back in season 5.
No, I don't like that one. I want the other one. I want this to be a proposal.
Season 5 is essentially when the Pokemon anime already ended. Like like the Pokemon anime had a very, very nice ending in season 5. And then they're just like, well, I guess we're going to send Ash to Hoenn now. All right, well, tell us about some Scarlet and Violet stuff that's happened, Basket.
All right. So season 2 has begun, and it runs until the end of the month. Same rules as season 1. The series 2 rules that'll run February until April add the Paradox Pokemon to the eligibility pool, which is pretty darn cool.
Ooh, that's exciting.
And scary, right? Mm-hmm. And then the Treasures of Ruin Quartet remains banned as well as the Face Legends. And roaming Gimmighoul and all Pokemon not in the Pokedex.
Good, because we don't need Cinderace.
I can't use like normal Quagsire, Cinderace, Charizard, things like that.
Yeah,
so,
those are still banned in VGC. And I think they will be. I mean,
sense.
if we go off of what happened last time, it's probably gonna be this way for a little bit. The difference is at least Scarlet and Violet gave us a group of legendaries.
That's true. Yeah.
Sword and Shield did not do that.
Yeah.
Sword and Shield were just like dogs.
I'm kind of happy that we don't yet have the Treasures of Ruin because they're kind of stupid.
They're doing that on purpose because we already had that meta for a little bit in November, right? Before VGC, like before they made a season. So everybody was playing actually with the rules where everything was legal except for, Koraidon and Miraidon.
Right.
And it definitely changed the game as a result. Like it definitely changed the game to not include the Treasures of Ruin and to include the Paradox Pokemon.
I'm excited to see how many Torkoal will be used and how many, I doubt this as much, but how many Pincurchin will be used just to augment those. Because the thing about the
yeah, that's true.
Those abilities is they don't care about haze. So it's a really cool way to get around things like Murkrow and other things that use that, because it's not like a stat change. It's just a flat stat boost. So Haze doesn't get rid of it.
The thing is, I don't think Dondozo does as well in those metas, so it might reduce the usage of Murkrow, right?
Yeah.
And which is fine. I mean, Murkrow can have its day in the sun. And
its day in the sun is now. And one thing to note is that even though the Series 2 rules go into effect in February, for all of our Australian listeners who might be going to the OCIC, that will still be Series 1 rules.
Yeah.
So don't get your Paradox Pokemon ready by then. They won't be allowed.
Awesome. Well, I think this is more you, Seth. You can go on and tell us more things.
Yes, I mean, this is our competitive episode, so we're going to touch on a little bit of VG world, and we kind of have a little bit with the VGC news here, but also Smogon-related news. Some of them are small. Before I get into that, though, there is a second chance for Cinderace raids this weekend if you missed out last time, like I did.
So did I.
You can grab a Cinderace. Apparently, I forget what Pokemon are good for it.
Slowbro. We have it in the Trades and Raids channel on the Discord at puclpodcast.com.
Oh, there you go. Okay, perfect. I'll have to look there. But yeah, there's a second chance for Cinderace. On to the Smogon things and the big news that came out of it that I was kind of alluding to earlier. The suspect test for OU terastallization has concluded, and terastallization remains and is not restricted in any way. So, no change.
I expect it to be shown in team preview at some point.
I expect that too, and that was far and away the thing that was going to happen if some kind of restriction happened. From what I saw, it was 70% of people who responded and did the ranked choice thing said that if some action was to take place, it should be the team preview thing. Far away second at like 15 to 20% was outright ban, and the other two things of like stab only and team captain barely made a blip on the results radar.
I think those are just like very ridiculous. I think team preview is semi-balanced.
Yeah, and it's semi-endorsed.
They do it that's what they're doing for official. That's what they're doing in official tournaments. Like the San Diego's going on right now. That's what they're doing at San Diego.
Yep, exactly.
It's not really team preview. It's just open team sheets, so you can go see your opponent's team before you play them.
Right. That might be for a different reason though. That's probably because Game Freak forgot to make a locked box for it.
Game Freak forgot to do a lot of things for competition.
They did, but let's not go down that rabbit hole because that'll have us going forever. But the next things on the radar, and some of these might actually be gone by the time this show comes out, from what I have been reading. We all know, in OU anyway, that Chi-Yu is going to be the next quick ban, like for sure. And from a tweet that happened mere moments before we started recording, Finchinator, the OU head guy, one of the several, but the most public one, has said there's probably two other bans that are happening with that Chi-Yu quick ban at the same time. So it appears the votes have already taken place council side. They just have to finalize them, and we'll get those results here by the end of the weekend. But on the radar, other than Chi-Yu, of course, which is limited now in survival, are the following: Annihilate, Cyclizar, Espathra, Chien-Pao, Golden Go, Garganical, and Dragonite. Those are all on the radar, being considered. Doesn't mean they'll all be quick ban, doesn't mean they'll all even be considered for quick ban. On the radar just means we've got our eyes on these. They might be suspect tested or considered in the future, but who knows? My prediction is that Annihilate and Cyclizar are the other two, because they're stupid and need to go. But
probably, yes.
That's Smogon stuff, and we'll be getting more soon. By the time we do the VG episode, I think UU will be in its official format. It'll be out of beta. It's in beta now, and other formats will be starting their alpha periods. So it's exciting. We're getting the tiers back. It's a fun time.
Yay!
Has Smogon started updating their recommended build stuff? Because I was looking at I think last week or the week before, and I couldn't find anything.
What you'll want to do is make sure that you're in the Scarlet Violet one.
Right.
They don't just update the hyperlink or whatever, so you'd want to go to smogon.com/dex/SV/Pokemon, and you can start looking at preliminary builds from there.
Some Pokemon Go news, though, Basket. I'm going to give that to you.
Yeah, we do. We have a Twinkling Fantasy event that runs the 10th through the 16th and adds Mega Salamence to the game. It also adds Shiny Dedenne, which is, a cute shiny. The event focuses on dragon and fairy type Pokemon.
Ooh.
So this is a fantastic event. However, if you want to purchase everything, and including the extra week, you're looking at a total of like $80.
Oof.
Yeah, it's not cheap. So maybe pick sparingly at what parts of this event that you want to purchase tickets and things for are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dragon and fairy type Pokemon. That's in a vacuum, that's a fantastic event.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. I've got the last two parts for Pokemon Go. January 21st, just for folks to keep on their calendars, is another community day, and it's a classic one here. It's for Larvitar, so if you missed out on getting those, that's a good time. And second other part that I've got is, it happened, folks. Kecleon is out in the wild in Pokemon Go. It's incredibly hard to find, and apparently it's breaking a little bit, so they're probably going to have to rework it a little. But what it does is when you go to spin a Pokestop, sometimes there'll be an invisible Kecleon stopping it, and then the encounter starts. It's kind of cute.
That is cool.
Yeah. All right. So we've got the last thing that is gonna that's at the end of every news segment, our Poke prediction. We've got this week was the first VGC regional of the season. How many Dondozo do you think made top cut? My answer is, if out of the top 8, I don't think it's not gonna be nearly as bad as Lugia. I will say probably like 1 or 2.
I like that. I think that's top cut, like top 8. Yeah, probably 2 teams with Dondozo sounds fair, but I'm going to say 3 just to have a different number than you.
Yeah.
We'll see if I'm right.
I don't think it's going to be
Dondozo is like one of the coolest new Pokemon in my opinion.
Right?
He looks like this old, grizzled Yakuza gangster whale.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to be in 3/4 of the teams in the top 8.
Oh my gosh, that'd be insane. I don't think that's going to happen.
Just for style points.
So 6 of the top 8. Wow.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
It's going to be the what is it? The
Incineroar.
Which one was it? Not Incineroar. Which regional did we just have? The Latin American International Championship. With Lugia decks in the top 8.
Right.
I think it was like 6 or I think that was 6.
I think it was 6 of 8. Yeah.
I think it was 6 of 8 for Lugia decks. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's what I say too. So I think it's going to be like 1 or 2. I don't think it's going to be that many. A lot of people have figured out how to play around it.
Yeah.
And especially if you look at a lot of the tournaments that are happening online currently, Dondozo doesn't top all the time anymore.
It really doesn't. Yeah. From what I've seen.
Yeah, it doesn't. You can play around with it. You just play Meowscarada or something.
It's on my little VGC team that I just go to Showdown Ladder.
It's very easy. It's very easy to play around. Yeah, it's very easy to play with. But yeah, I think that's going to be it. We are going to kick it on over now to Puckle's Poke Quiz, where we're going to quiz your co-host on their insane Pokemon.
Oh hi, and welcome to the Poke Quiz, the part of the show where we quiz our co-hosts on their insane Pokemon knowledge. I'm Mark from the Dunsparce gang, here to explain the rules. Our fabulous co-hosts will work as a team to answer 5 Pokemon-themed trivia questions that fans have submitted on the Discord server. Each question is worth 1 point, with Pokedex and multiple answer questions worth more, for a total of 7 points. The host can use a free hint at any time. If they get all the answers correct and do not use the hint, they can cash it in for an 8th point.
Welcome to Puckle's Poke Quiz, where we're going to quiz your co-host on their insane Pokemon knowledge. Thank you for that introduction. Our first question this week is going to come to you from the Purple Knight. Without taking into account abilities and moves, what 2 types cannot hit any type combination for 0.25 damage? So a quarter damage.
0.25, not taking into account abilities.
With no abilities and with no abilities or moves. Funky.
They cannot hit for 0.25.
Yeah, so there's only 1 type combination actually that if you do it, you cannot with any move type hit it for. I mean, it'll resist.
Not taking into account moves or abilities, it would just be the 2 types.
Cannot hit. Yeah, okay, keep going.
Yeah, it would just be the 2 types that have 1 resistance right now, which would be Dragon and Ghost, correct?
Are you asking
I'm thinking
me?
That's what it is. I'm thinking out loud. Basket, what do you think? Any thoughts?
Well, doesn't dragon resist like fire, grass, and water?
These are the attacking types, not the defending types.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
But you have to account for defending types for this one. Because, I mean, but the 0.25 is by having a double resistance. There's some combination that gives a double resistance to everything, except for as of Gen 6 when they removed the Ghost and Dark resists from steel types.
Uh-huh.
Ghost now only has one resist in Dark. Dragon only has one resist in Steel. The others are immunities. So there is no type combination short of abilities with a single type, such as like a Dark Garganical with Purifying Salt. That would make Ghost 0.25, but that's an ability. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Dragon Ghost.
We'll go with Dragon Ghost.
Dragon Ghost
Locked in.
is correct. Ding, ding, ding. That's a one for one for you guys. Our next question is going to come from Basket. You haven't beaten Scarlet and Violet yet, so I'll make it a different one. From White. What is the only electric type to have the ability Limber?
Huh. Do you know it, Basket?
I'm trying to go through my head because I play a lot of Nuzlockes, and I've been really disappointed sometimes when I catch one with a really crappy.
It's a real goofy electric type. I can tell you that.
Oh, Stunfisk. That
you got it.
Yeah,
Stunfisk.
Yeah,
Stunfisk is correct. You guys are 2-4-2. Your next question is your Pokedex entry question, as always. This one is going to come to us from Liger, the man who puts the trivia together himself.
Woo.
Its Pokemon Scarlet entry reads, it gulps anything that fits in its mouth. Its special enzymes can dissolve anything. Who's that Pokemon?
Is it just Gulpin?
I mean, that would be my first
That would
guess,
make sense. Or is it Swalot? Which one's the preform? Swalot's the second one, right?
Yeah. Gulpin's the early one.
Yeah. I mean, it's got the word gulp in it.
Yeah, let's do Gulpin.
Gulpin, locked in. Final answer.
Gulpin's technically not correct, but I'll give it to you. It is Swalot.
Okay.
The answer is Swalot. The second entry was going to be from Omega Ruby, and it reads, when this Pokemon spots prey, it spurts out a hideously toxic fluid from its pores and sprays at the target. Once the prey is weakened, the Pokemon gulps it down with its cavernous mouth.
Cavernous? Okay, yeah, that we would have immediately just said Swalot.
Yes.
Same thing.
Yep, I'll take it. So you guys got 2 points there. So you guys are 4 for 3. Your next question is going to be worth up to 2 points in this question because we're going to talk about some TCG. It's about TCG. There are, it looks like 4 answers. Okay. I am going to give you 1 point for every 2 answers you give me. All right. In the Game Boy Color Pokemon trading card game, what were the names of the 4 Grandmasters, and what were their 4 legendary cards?
What?
Okay, if you can tell me the legendary cards, I'll just give it to you, because I think the names are a little unfair.
What are the legendary cards? Are they?
I could have told you the legendary cards, at least 3.
I mean, part of me wants to just say the starters, but also part of me wants to be like the birds and.
So I remember. I think I can remember like 2, maybe 3.
You get 2 strikes and then you're out, by the way, or 3 strikes and you're out. That's how it's
3 strikes and you're out. Okay.
Yeah, you do have to lock in the answers.
Okay.
I think because they were like really dopey names. I think it was like Steve, Jack, and Rod or something.
Holy crap!
And then there was a girl.
Holy crap!
Is that right? Did you get that right?
Those are all right. Those are all right.
Oh my word, Basket, you legend.
I was laughing so
Basket,
much
I'm just going to give you the points. You got the names of these people. I didn't expect you to actually get them.
Holy macaroni.
What was the girl's name, though? What was the girl's name?
Courtney.
Okay.
Oh.
They were all just such dopey names.
I love it.
Oh, I can't. You named
Basket.
them in order, too. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my gosh.
In order?
Yeah.
Basket, you legend.
I don't even like. Okay, but the legendary cards, because
What
you
are the
named
cards?
those.
Tell us the
I'm gonna
cards.
give you the 2 points. Only
I feel
because
like there was
Basket
one
actually
more,
named
though.
it. No, that's all. There's just 4. Then you end up playing your rival. I forget his name.
Oh.
Oh my gosh! It's on the tip of my tongue. I can
Maybe
see
that's
his
why I thought there was
derpy
another
face.
one.
But
His rival's name is Stinky, because I name him myself.
no, you can't name him.
Oh.
But he's also just like a jerk on purpose. Like it was back in the day when like rivals could be mean to you, and I missed that.
Right, yeah.
All right. So the 4 legendary cards were Moltres, Zapdos, Articuno, and Dragonite.
Okay, yep, that makes sense.
And Dragonite. So those were
Yeah,
the legendary
birds and
cards.
Dragonite makes sense.
They were the Game Boy Color or the Game Boy exclusive cards.
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, you guys are rolling on a perfect score right now. You guys are
Wow.
at
Basket.
you guys are
Wow.
at 6 for 4. Your next question is your what is it called?
Base stat
question, as always. And it's a new year, guys. I'm working on it.
We're all working on it, my guy.
Yeah.
And this is where I come crashing down as the base stat totals.
Well, you do still have the hint, but of course you can always cash the hint in if you get this correct
got you,
for a
boo.
total of 8. All right. So this next question is going to come to you from Deacon Cheese.
Ooh.
Which fully evolved starter Pokemon has the highest base attack?
Fully evolved starter, highest base attack. Does this take into account megas?
I'm gonna say no.
Gonna say no. Okay. Nothing Gen 1. Nothing Gen 2. Gen 3, Blaziken has 120. Gen 4, Infernape has like 116. Torterra's is not that high. Gen 5, Samurott. No, that's low. Emboars might be 125. We'll come back to that. Gen 6, Greninja, those guys. None of them. They're all special attack, speed, and defense. Gen 7, we've got Owl, Incineroar, and Seal. No, those ones aren't it. Gen 8, Monkey, Cinderace, and Lizard. No, none of those. And finally, Gen 9, what are our starters here? Coco, the cat, who's 110, and the duck, who is also 120-ish? Okay. So the 3 that we have to consider...
It's gotta be the new crocodile.
The crocodile is very slow, but has high special attack and defense.
Special attack, that's what I meant.
And HP. I think its HP is like 100 or 110. That's what makes it good. So the 3 we have to consider from are Blaziken, Emboar, and Quaquaval, I think. If Megas, like Thatch said, if Megas don't take into account, because then it would clearly be Mega Blaziken, which is like 150 or something stupid like that. So...
I never used any of those Pokemon competitively, so I honestly have no idea.
Okay. I'm pretty sure that Quaquaval and Blaziken share 120, so I would put my guess on Emboar at like 125 or some weird number above them.
I'm cool with us doing Emboar because, I just remember its speed held it back a lot.
Yeah, it's got high speed, not high speed, high attack, high HP. That's what it's good at. It's got like 90s in defense or something, 80s or 90s in its defenses stats. It's HP and attack, though, that its main focuses are. I'm going to say Emboar.
Yeah, we'll lock that in, Thatch.
Emboar is unfortunately incorrect. It's number 2.
Number 2.
Yeah, you named everybody except the winner, I think.
Really?
The winner.
Wait. Oh, is it a once, or do we get another guess?
Oh no, you don't get another guess. This is the answer. This is the answer. This isn't the multi-answer question. The answer is Rillaboom.
Is it really?
Rillaboom's got a base attack of 125. Emboar is in second.
Well, I said
with
monkey.
Emboar is in second with 123. Blaziken and Quaquaval are at 120, and Cinderace is at 116.
I had like 115-ish in my head for Rillaboom, and I thought it was mainly augmented by like the grassy terrain nonsense.
No,
so
it's just gross.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, so you guys got 6 points today, so that's nothing to sneeze at.
Sorry, Basket.
It's okay.
That is nothing to sneeze at. So, we are
At least I got the number right.
People are getting closer to 40, but it's still anybody's game. So, in first place, we have Seth Vilo with 31 points. In second place, we've got Linian with 26. And third, Shark with 24. Dr. Shamu in fourth with 21. Whimsicott in fifth with 17. Sublime in sixth with 15. Mark in seventh with 14. Claude and Basket are now tied in eighth place with 11. And Jushiro and Sigma are tied in 10th with 6. We'll see who gets there next time.
Too. Yeah,
So
it's
we will-
120 as well. Cool.
We will go ahead and kick it on over to the topic.
Woo!
We have another review this week from iTunes from Boy Jeff. Amazing, 5 stars. I just started listening this year, but I've loved it ever since. Well, thank you for that. And if you would like to review us wherever you listen to the podcast, we would really appreciate it. It would help us out. On top of that, you might be able to be right on the show. Well, until then, we're going to kick it on over, guys, to the topic. Welcome to the topic. Our topic today is going to be just kind of the TCG update. There's not really a new set coming out. Oh, there is. Crown Zenith is dropping on January 20th. We do have some Scarlet Violet information, some tournaments that are coming up, as well as tournaments that have happened. I mean, there's one happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead and we'll jump into it. I know Basket hasn't been following as hardcore as like you and I have. I want to bring up a few notable cards from Crown Zenith, and by a few, I really just mean a few.
Really a few. Yeah, there are not a lot. This set is small to begin with, and most of it's art.
It is a small set, yeah. A lot of it's reprints, too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of reprints in this set, because this is a set out of Japan. At the end of each block in Sword and Shield, they've been doing these really big sets that are just kind of a celebration of the year. Honestly, in Japan, it's a way better deal than it is in the US, because it's like, hey, we took all of the meta good cards and we reprinted them with really cool art, and we put them in a pack for you. In the US, it's just like, ha 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 ha, suckers. Here's all the stuff that we forgot to put in. Here's the Hoppip from the E block we forgot.
Yeah.
So there you go, suckers.
And you'll like it.
Yeah, exactly. We get the cool art as well, but they're much harder
Yeah.
to get than they are in Japan.
That's going to be kind of exciting, honestly, is the art, because if you want to bling out your deck, this is the set.
I'm very excited for not just this, but I'm honestly just excited that this is the end of Sword and Shield, so we can get to Scarlet Violet, where they're going to update the packs.
Yeah.
Because like the pack composition being updated, I think it's going to have three hollow slots now instead of instead of the one reverse hollow slot and then like the potential hollow rare. We're going to get 3 slots for that, so 2 of them are at least going to be rares, which is very exciting. In every single pack of Scarlet Violet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very, very excited to see this. It just makes me excited to open packs again.
Honestly, yeah.
Because honestly, opening these packs has been kind of bummer outside of Trainer Gallery. Even then, then you just end up with way too much Trainer Gallery. Yeah, let's jump into it though. I think the one that I am most excited for out of this set, Seth, is they're coming out with a baby Zamazenta.
Yeah.
It has an attack. It does 100 plus 120 or something. Was KO'd last turn for I think it's 2 metal and a colorless.
Yep, that's right.
I think the ability is more exciting, where it takes 30 less damage from attacks if it's got any energy attached to it.
Yeah.
I think could be big, especially in Lost Box matchups.
What's his HP at?
Its HP is 130.
It's 130.
Okay.
Which is actually kind of noticeable as well, because a lot of things don't really if they're going to KO it, one hit KO it, it's going to take a little bit of a push, and they might be at 140, 150, and you might get 2 turns out of the baby Zamazenta.
Yeah, for instance, the couple that I can think of that really messes the math up on are a Cramorant and a Zigzagoon kind of ping loop. It is out of range of that. It is out of range of a Raikou, an amazing rare Raikou, and a Zigzagoon ping.
That's true, so yeah.
Out of range, I think, from a Regigigas, because that does 150.
Yes.
And so it's 10 HP short.
I think that prevents pretty much everything from Reggie's to KO it, with the exception of the Regidrago.
Drago. Yeah, the Drago that does a crazy amount of damage.
I mean, I think Metal actually is the big winner out of this set, in all honesty.
For sure.
I think Steel types are the big winner.
I'm really excited about the Zamazenta too, because I intend on taking Lost Box to Orlando again. Mm-hmm. But Orlando, if I'm doing my math correctly, is going to be the first tournament that these Crown Zenith cards are legal. So this deck with the Lost Box and the Zamazenta sprinkled in has been doing incredibly well at some recent Japan tournaments. littering the top 10, the top 16, things like that with different versions of it. It's very good in Lost Box. It really makes it so you can have the explosive power of Rayquaza and the instant response to a Stoutland without having to find Snorlax and Choice Belt at the same time. It gives you a really, really solid answer to those things and just solid damage for whenever things are KO'd, which your opponent will be doing. They play right into your strategy. It's great.
Do you have any other favorites, Seth? I mean, we have a list, so I'll let you just pick one and we can talk about it.
Yeah.
And obviously, Basket, feel free to stop us and yell at us.
Ask us a question or anything like that if we go too fast on anything. So here's one. I'll take this one because it's really complicated. It is a new item card or a tool card. It won't be an item for much longer. It is another one of those seal stones. We've seen two so far, the Earthen, which reduces everything to 100 HP on your opponent's side, and the Forest, which lets you search your deck. They use your V-Star power without having to have a V-Star in play, so long as they're attached to a basic V. This one is the Sky Seal Stone. And it says on there, the Pokemon V this card is attached to can use this V-Star power. And it says, this is an ability, it's really weird, and there's a lot of conditions to it, so bear with me. I'm going to read it verbatim. You may use this ability during your turn, obviously. During this turn, when the damage from the attack of your basic Pokemon V knocks out your opponent's active Pokemon V-Star or V-Max, take an additional prize card.
It's very exciting. It's like one turn ADP.
Yes, one turn ADP for stuff like that. And the cool combos that you see with this are things like Drapion V. Slap this on a Drapion V and smack into a Mew VMAX and take 4 prizes off of it, leaving only a 2 prizer that you have to take from that point. You can do the same thing with Galarian Moltres V. A reminder, it has to be a basic V that does the damage to a V-Star or V-Max. Those are the conditions. From what I see, I don't even think it has to be the Pokemon that it's attached to that does the damage. Yeah, and you just activate the power, and from there it goes forward. Okay, that was a mistake on my part for my hand testing. That's exciting. Another one.
That's awesome.
No, the Sky Seal Stone is very exciting. I don't know if it's going to be as played as people think it is, though.
No, it's very hard to get those conditions.
Well, not only that, but like you're filling up so much deck space for like a very techie card. I feel like playing Drapion in any deck to like counter Mew is already very hefty as a price.
Right. And
to go ahead and be like also Sky Seal Stone. When it, honestly, in my opinion, I don't think Drapion, I don't think you need the extra prize off of Mew VMAX, honestly, to beat Mew VMAX after you tap it.
It makes the mapping a lot easier for a Lost Box matchup, especially if they're the Lost Zone.
I will agree with that.
Because you take the Mew, then you take a Genesect with a Zamazenta.
How easy would it be now versus once they change it to a tool card?
To like not an item card, but a tool card kind of a thing?
Yeah. How easy now versus later would it be to like grab it? Like if you had like a one
about the same, I think.
About the same. A Lost Box tends to sometimes play things like Pokestop, which would no longer work. So in some situations, it'll be a little harder to find. A lot of these decks also play Raihan, though, which lets you search for anything. So doesn't really change that. So a couple cool Pokemon that can use this really well are things like Raikou V to take a Lugia and get 3 prizes off of a Lugia, so you're that much closer to the game. And Crabominable V, not a really well-known name, but it's got that Destroyer Punch attack, which does 90 damage by itself, uses water energy, which a lot of these decks tend to play, and then does 60 more damage for each damage counter on the opponent's active. So you can magnify some cool little lost mine pings and really explode things with the Crabominable.
Yeah, sure.
That's a cool one.
The other ones that are pretty cool are the Zacian V-Star, which I think is really, like, what's really cool is I think, you told me this before, and I didn't see it until I started looking at the set more, Seth, that Dialga was going to be, like, an okay deck.
Yeah.
After seeing this, I don't disagree with you, though, because there's the Zacian V that everybody plays in Steel decks, where you can do Intrepid Sword, and you draw 3 cards, and if there's an energy in it, you can just attach it to something.
Specifically itself.
It's specifically itself, that's true, yes. But what's really great is you could like play that in Dialga, and that Zacian's good on its own, don't get me wrong. Could get stopped by things like Miltank.
Yep.
Which I wouldn't be surprised if it just sees an uptick again later on. I mean, it's always there to some extent.
It's annoying, that's for sure. I faced a number of them testing for, what was that one? NAIC that we went to?
Yes.
And when I played Dialga like a fool.
Oh, well, that was when Miltank was like the new hotness, right? So
that was, and I had like, I think I had Canceling Cologne in the deck, and I never faced one that day, but gosh, was I ready.
I hate it when that happens, man.
Tell me about it.
You got a tech in your deck, and it just,
Man, tell me about it, Basket. I played Galarian Moltres, like the baby in the Lugia deck, and I played for Mew, and I played 0 Mews. I was so upset.
Right? Same. I didn't face a single Mew.
And you know what's worse is every single match that I sat down, I was sat next to a Mew mirror.
Right?
Oh, man.
And I was just like, they're just playing each other. What's going on?
Match against me.
Match against me. They're like, but no, Thatch, you need to play the Jolteon V anti-meta deck.
With your Lugia deck.
With your Lugia deck. Have fun.
Exactly.
And I'm just like, God. That was a fun time.
But why does the Zacian get past Miltank, Thatch? Enlighten me.
It's got its own shred. I forget what the attack's actually called, but it's shred, so it bypasses all abilities that are on or anything that's affecting the Pokemon for preventing it from being attacked.
Mm-hmm.
And it does it for 200, which is insane.
Yeah,
that is like crazy high. I think the highest shred otherwise is like 160. Giratina has it, and I believe the Aegislash V or VMAX has it.
It does. I think the Aegislash is like
130,
130ish. Yeah, that sounds right. So yeah, the Aegislash maybe.
I mean, the 200 I think is very unnecessary. I don't see a
200.
way. I don't think there's a situation in which I go, yeah, I need more than 160.
It's good, just flat damage though.
It's nice. Yeah, it's nice to have.
Toss a belt on it. That's basic Vs.
It does have a V-Star attack as well, but I don't know that there's ever going to be a deck that just runs this to use the V-Star attack. But it is nice. It is nice, I guess, if you like have a really bad start and you are playing Dialga. You could go ahead and V-Star for, I think it's two metal and 2 colorless, I think.
Correct. Yeah, 2 metal, 2 colorless.
And it does like 310, which is insane.
That's a Mew.
Yeah, that's a Mew. That's a lot of things. With a belt, that's everything, I think. Which is great, actually, because like that hits numbers that like Lugia can't hit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, I think Lugia can hit 340. No, it can hit 330. It's 330.
Do any of these other cards that we've got on our little list here speak to you, Basket?
They're all in Japanese.
That's true.
From what I'm looking at. So no.
There's a big one though. Like I think we haven't talked about the biggest one. Like we've talked about some big ones, but I think the one that's going to be the most creative is going to be the Radiant Eternatus.
Ooh, yeah, that's a fun one.
Oh, that one's in English.
That one's English? Give it a whirl, Basket.
Right.
How do you think it's good?
I think that one's been revealed.
I think it has, yeah.
I don't think it's going to be the best one, but I think it's going to be the most fun one to see play.
Yeah, so it's dragon type. It's just a basic ability, Climactic Gate. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may search your deck for up to 2 Pokemon VMAX and put them on your bench. Then shuffle your deck. If you use this ability, your turn ends. And then it's got
so good.
Because it's a dragon type, it's got a fire, water, and normal energy cost for Power Beam, which does 200 damage flat.
The ability's insane.
That's such a cool...
That's a very good ability.
The amount of time that I've just searched my deck desperately for a VMAX, trying to get it into play. Things like, to name a couple, like Shadow Rider Calyrex. It's very vulnerable in its first form, but if you can just cheat 2 of them out, yeah, your turn ends, but now you're done.
You could do this with so many Pokemon. You could do this with a lot. I think you could do it with Regieleki to some extent. I think Duraludon.
Yeah.
I think Duraludon likes this.
Duraludon
really likes this.
Duraludon's incredible because it's so vulnerable in its first stage. But if you can just cheat it out, have this as, a 1 prize, and then all of a sudden you've got Duraludon that's immune to damage while things have special energy on it.
Mm-hmm.
There's no bossing, KOing the baby. There's just it.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's the biggest thing with Duraludon too, especially in like the Lugia matchup.
Yeah.
If you just get the big boy out, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is an absurd card.
Yeah, no, it's really fun. I don't think it's going to be the best just because like your turn ends, right?
That is rough.
It's going to slow you down a little bit, but could you imagine a turn 1 where you do that?
Right? You've got 2 VMAXs down already? Like, what?
You got 2 VMAXs ready to go for the next turn? Like, that would be pretty intense. I'm very excited to see that go. I'm very excited. I don't think it's going to be good, but I think it's going to be fun. I think there's going to be a lot of different decks that can do this. Because, like, you can also imagine doing this with the paralysis being big again, right? I guess it's not as big anymore, really. Like, there was that one regional
Not
where everybody
so
did
much.
it, and then nobody really cared anymore. Which surprises me, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm very surprised that people stopped doing it, because it's really how you can stop things. But Espeon VMAX sees a lot of play because of that. And so you could just get Espeon VMAX out right away.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one. You don't have to worry about the vulnerability of
Exactly.
Baby, and everything immediately has the immunity to effects, so like you can't be Eveltald.
Exactly.
That's cool.
Turn 1, you can't be Eveltald. Like, that's pretty good.
I mean, there's got to be like a pretty quick engine to get Eternatus out there to fill up your bench early.
Quick ball.
For
Done.
sure. I mean,
just
quick
quick
ball.
ball. Quick ball.
That's what yeah.
Quick ball.
The lists that I've seen, the preliminary lists that are coming out of Japan, frequently they're the Duraludon paired with like
I think so.
one copy of the flying Pikachu that blocks basic damage.
No, that's what I would do as well. I agree with this.
And you just are a little tiny Lost Box deck until you hit 7 cards and can Mirage Gate and immediately do something with one of these VMAXs.
This sounds so fun.
Cheat it out.
I love this.
And you play this with a couple Hisui and Heavy Ball, so you always guarantee you can find the Radiant Eternatus. And it's so fun. You save so much deck space and time.
I would play this deck.
Right?
I would play this deck. Not because it's good, but because it's fun.
You don't have bad starts either because you don't have the basics.
Exactly.
Like, just avoid Path and you're fine.
Yeah, avoid Path. God. Man, I can't believe that Path hasn't seen more play, by the way, yet. And maybe maybe it's this weekend. This is the weekend it does. Because remember, I was telling you before Arlington, I was just like, I think Path should be everywhere.
Uh-huh. I agree with you.
I mean, yeah, I think if you play a very heavy Path deck right now, I think you could see a lot of success.
Yeah.
That's why I think that's why Reggie's was seeing so much success lately.
Exactly.
Was because of the heavy Path. There are some like heavy Path Lugia builds you can do, and I wouldn't be surprised if one of those does really well this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I think Path is just like way overdue its monumental return, but we'll see. Did we miss the Zamazenta, I think.
The V-Star one?
The V-Star, yeah, like it's okay.
It's very missable. We're moving on to the really meh portion of
the
Crown Zenith. It's a teeny tiny set, y'all.
Well, new card wise, I think.
Yeah.
Honestly, really pissed because it's like a catch-up set, right? Like the one card that we didn't get in Lost Origin that we probably should have was the Rotom V-Star.
Right?
Everybody got really excited because like it won a thing very early on.
Yeah, I don't think it won, or did it? Did it win? It got like really high.
It did really well once, and then everybody's like, it's gonna be good.
I think it got like 7th out of a tournament of multiple thousands of people.
Yeah. Okay, but there's a lot of... In Japan, I don't know that counts. In Japan, I don't think
it was
this
Yokohama on September 17th, and there were 3,166 players, and it got 7th.
That's average for Japan, I think. Like, tournament size.
Yeah, but that's what that one was.
But they all do best of one, so, like, I don't know if it counts.
That's true, too. But the Rotom was just...
Do keep in mind, though, if you go play locals, they are also best of one, so...
Yeah, until you get to, like, top 8 if your local's big enough.
Yeah.
I mean, Rotom's goof. We could talk about it real fast.
Yeah, go for it.
It's got 250 HP. It's got an attack Scrap Pulse, which is just basically what the Rotom V has, but better damage numbers. Put any number of Pokemon tool cards from your discard pile into the Lost Zone. This attack does 40 more damage for each card you put in the Lost Zone in this way. It starts at 80, though, as opposed to 40, like the baby Rotom. So it ramps up damage. That's one fewer tool card you have to get rid of to hit the same number. So that's cool. And I think the main gas comes from the ability, which is Conversion Star. During your turn, you may use this ability, discard any number of cards from your hand, then draw that many cards.
Oh.
Easy. Get rid of all the tools in your hand that you've collected, and that's an ability, not an attack, so you just immediately Scrap Pulse them away and do a ton of damage.
Yeah.
Do we know how that's going to work after the tool errata or whatever we're going to call it?
Yeah, it shouldn't change anything because nowhere on here does it specify items. The Scrap Pulse attack says specifically Pokemon tool cards, and the Conversion Star is just discard cards from your hand up to a certain number. There's nothing that specifically states item versus tool, well, item, tool, whatever. So it should be largely unaffected by the errata. The only difference is it would work now slightly better with Pokestop because those tool cards are immediately thrown in the discard. So that's the only difference I can see. So it gets better with the errata. Hooray!
Yeah.
Good question, though. That's something I had not considered, Basket. That was a really good thing to point out.
I don't even want to talk about some of these you put on here because I think Regigigas V-Star is like a garbage card.
It's kind of garbage. It's cute. It's cute with Switch cards, and it could go really well with the Gardevoir engine.
Maybe, but I don't know. I'm not very excited about it. The Bidoof, I think, is more exciting. Like it's honestly, it's got its own bench barrier, and it's just like, yeah, we lose quick ball, so Bibarel would really like to have a Bidoof that won't die.
Built-in bench barrier is cool. It's only for itself, of course, but it's cute. Does have 60 health, and it will be hit by a Sableye, but that's late game, and hopefully by then it's a Bibarel. So, like, a card that people... I think the Luxray, it may not be good now, but it might be good later. There's a Luxray in the set. Ooh, yeah.
And it's very much so reminiscent of the...
Were you playing... I don't remember if you were, Thatch. Basket, were you playing back when the old Talonflame was around?
I was. I have the Greninja deck.
What set was that in?
That was in Steam Siege.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
It was in Steam Siege.
Do you remember the Talonflame and how crazy it was?
Yes.
That's the one where like it would go straight on the bench, right?
Straight on the active.
If it's in your opening hand, it goes straight on the active, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you can just set that up as your quote unquote active basic instead of an actual basic.
Yeah, that was the starter for Greninja, right?
They got a Luxray that's doing that now.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So it might be okay. I'm waiting for the game to slow down a little bit before I say it's good, but...
I'm happy for Luxray to be able to do something.
Right? It should have a little bit of love.
I mean, I think it's one colorless, too, for its attack. It does 50, which isn't a lot, but it does let you just grab 2 trainers.
Yeah, and what's cool about the Luxray, too, specifically, on top of the grab 2 trainers, which is kind of worse than the Talonflame, because Talonflame was just grab 2 of any card.
Right, yeah.
But the Luxray, number 1... has more health. That's important nowadays. It's got 160 instead of 130. Number 2, it hits for a weakness.
Yeah, that's true. It does hit for a weakness.
Which is big.
The Talonflame was colorless.
And it's free retreat.
Was the Talonflame not free to retreat?
I think the Talonflame was too, but the Luxray, that surprises me given its in-game speed stat is so low.
Yeah, okay, but I don't think they pay attention to those things anyway. I'm going to be honest.
I mean, Regieleki has like 3.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I think they pay attention to it when they want to.
Yeah. When they want to.
The Talonflame did have free retreat.
Yeah.
I do remember that. It is almost exactly the Talonflame, actually. That's what
it's cute, though.
I miss that. I miss that so much.
You can play it with fossils. You can make Lugia at home.
Lugia at home.
What the old like fossil type lock decks with Talonflame. Yeah, what you do is you play like 4 Luxray, a single basic because you legally have to have 1.
I hate this.
And a bunch of fossils. And you just rare candy, you put the fossil down because it's not a Pokemon, and you lead with Luxray every single time. And you make Archeops with rare candy, whatever. There you go.
My gosh.
Lugia at home.
Lugia at home. It would just end up being like a single prize Archeops deck.
Exactly.
That sounds like a Jushiro deck right there.
That sounds like a Jushiro deck.
Every Archeops just powers itself up immediately and just starts smacking.
That could be really goofy. That could be absolutely nutty.
That would be a goofy deck. I kind of want to just build that.
Right.
I kind of just want to build that and make it even though it's bad.
If you do the 4 Luxray and 1 basic, the chance is there.
Okay, so when it drops on PGCGO, I'm going to build it, and it's going to be so bad.
Yes. And we have gotten confirmation that Crown Zenith will hit PTCGO.
Yeah, we know that.
So that's a good thing. And we've got at least a couple more months for the client.
Yeah, before the client becomes awful. Yeah.
We've yet received no word of when it will hit PTCG Live, which we're all not surprised about. Both A, because it's in beta still, and B, because it's wonderful. Great.
It's the best one.
So happy for it to exist.
Nobody's upset.
I would like to point out real quick before we move on, that to the listeners that didn't listen to the TCG show, Jashiro's a great TCG player. Mm-hmm. He just loves fossils too much, and he's constantly building like fossil teams and trying to make them work. And they always have some new gimmick or some new card that like Jashiro's like, oh well, maybe maybe it can work this way, so I wasn't disparaging him. I was just, friends don't let friends play pup fossils.
Exactly. There's the meme. There it is.
I hope I can meet up with you guys once I get the cube built, because I want to watch Shushiro try. I'm very excited for this. Maybe we should just cube online one day.
It's fun. It's fun goofiness, and this gives the garbage archetype of fossils a new breath of life and makes it have potential. I'm kind of excited for this.
It gives it something.
I think they even have a Dracovish right now that prevents evolution, I think.
Let me look.
So it's like the old Archeops that was banned?
Oh my gosh, you are correct, actually. Yeah.
Does it have to be active, or can it be just anywhere?
It has to be active, though.
Has to be active. That's kind of fun. That could be cute.
I don't know if I wanted. I was going to talk about some Scarlet Violet stuff, but we've talked for a while, actually, so I don't want to do that. We can save that for 2 months from now when we have actual.
When it's closer to actually releasing. There's some cool things coming from it, though. We haven't seen a lot, but we've seen a couple cards that'll be notable both for now and after rotation when it lands.
I also wouldn't say much has happened in the meta since the last time, in all honesty.
Not really. We were prepping for Arlington last time.
And I don't think much has changed in the way of those expectations. I think the only thing that's happened is there's been a slight resurgence in coughing Eternatus.
Yes.
I think that's the only thing.
All because of Shamu.
No, it was because that deck in Japan did really well.
It's not bad, honestly.
It's also seeing moderate success, right? It's a fun deck, though. I mean, it's fun. It's fun for the person playing it, not the person playing against it. But
exactly.
If you want to feel good by making everybody else feel bad, go play it.
Yeah. Tons of things are so reliant on their abilities, and if you can just Wheezing stall them out of it and possibly throw in additional poison bits, a Crobat VMAX weaved in there somewhere.
Yep.
You can be the most annoying deck in the room, and that's what you want to be.
Sometimes.
It's good, though.
Yeah, other than that, I don't think there's been much. And I am excited for Crown Zenith, though, mostly because there's pretty cards. That's the only reason.
That's the other thing I was going to throw out there, too, is that we mentioned it earlier, but some of these arts, you got to go look them up, folks. They are absolutely beautiful and great ways to bling out your deck. It's incredible. Some of them, I think, even have the story. You were talking about that to me off air, Basket, about I think some of them have cool stories to them, basically.
They do that.
Yeah. It's this is actually one of the best artwork wise full arts I've seen in a very long time. So collectors should definitely be on the lookout for these. There's a set of 9 cards divided into 3 little groups, where if you line up 3, there's a whole scene of 3 different cards with 3 different Pokemon that create an entire scene. So there's 3 sets of 3 that do that. And then there's also a set of 2 where it's a Mewtwo. It's from Mewtwo's perspective, and he's attacking a Charizard in the air with all this great background artwork. And then there's the opposite, which is a Charizard card, and it's from Charizard's perspective doing that. I mean, I don't know who was doing the art design for these, but they really went kind of crazy with it, and I love it. It seems like a lot of new, exciting, fun, really dynamic artwork. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and real quick too, there's a Dunsparce card where it's 3 Dunsparce, and they're all sleeping in what looks like a college dorm room.
Yes.
They're 2 of them are in the bunk, and then one of them's just sleeping under a pile of clothes.
That's adorable.
And then quite possibly my favorite one, just because of how derpy it is so it's a Ditto card, but it's just a field, a wide open field full of Numel.
Yep.
And then and
one
they're
Ditto.
all eating grass.
There's
this one Numel with the derpy Ditto face.
I love that so much because it references the whole peeling thing. That's so cool.
Yeah. It's very good. I really like it. All right. So I think this is where we're going to stop. This was it was shorter than our other competitive episodes, but I thought it's warranted with the shorter set.
Yeah, and there's not a whole lot of active development right now.
No.
Lugia is being teched for against and all that kind of stuff more, but it in turn is teching back. It's still very much a Lugia best deck meta with some other things creeping their way back. So keep an eye on tournaments. We've got San Diego now. We've got
Orlando
at the beginning of February, and then Knoxville, Tennessee later.
Yep.
So we'll be back at you in March with more TCG when 3 more regionals have completed, and see where
Yeah.
we get there. And hopefully I'll be the champion of 2 of those so I can be halfway to my World's invite.
All right. Well, on that note, we are going to go ahead and we're going to kick it on over to Puckle's Pokemon of the episode. We will catch you guys on the flip-flop.
Poke of the episode.
Welcome to our Pokemon of the episode. I guess we technically don't have the National Dex number yet.
We should. I think Cerebi figured it out.
I think they did, but it's not confirmed yet.
Nah.
And so this is Palafin, the dolphin Pokemon, or the hero Pokemon, depending on when you see him.
I'm going to read 2 entries here because I can.
Yes.
Its zero form Violet entry is, its physical capabilities are no different than a Finizen's, but when its allies are in danger, it transforms and powers itself up. And its hero form Scarlet entry is, this Pokemon's ancient genes have awakened. It is now so extraordinarily strong that it can easily lift a cruise ship with 1 fin.
It's such a silly Pokemon. I love it. Oh my gosh.
He's fun.
The zero form is pretty bad, but the hero form is actually really good. The hero form,
Bananas.
yeah, the hero form. So like we're talking going from a base like 450 to like a base 650, which is kind of bananas. Base 100 speed, which is insane on both, by the way. So like you can switch out and flip turn very easily. And you get base 160 attack though in hero form, which is insane. Base 106 special attack, which it's lower than the attack, but that's still not that bad.
That's high. That's higher than Starmie.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. That's higher than Talonflame's attack stat.
yeah.
Its base HP is 100, base defense of 97, base special defense of 87. Like this thing is,
It's not bad.
It's pretty good.
It's only 20 base points lower than Miraidon and Koraidon.
I
Like,
know.
what? That's why it's banned in OU. Get that garbage out of
It
here.
also does have a signature move in Jet Punch, which is just a water type physical move that punches. And it gives it priority. It's like Mach Punch, but better.
It is better in that it's got 60 base power instead of 40, like all other priority moves.
Mm-hmm. So it on top of that, like people typically will terrestrialize it into the water type.
Yep.
So you just get even more, and it's just stupid. It's just stupid. Its move pool isn't like super deep, but it's deep enough.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, it's not super deep, but it's deep enough. So it does get haze somehow as well, by the way.
That's so weird to me.
Which is of note if you're playing in VGC. It's not a great deep move pool, but it does get close combat. It does get like a couple ice type moves. I don't think it gets ice punch though.
I think it does, actually.
Does it? Okay, maybe I missed it. No. Let me look at this right now. I'm looking. Ice, disarming voice, icy wind, ice punch. Never mind. There it is.
Ice punch, TM69.
Yep. Nice.
Ha ha ha.
Nice.
Gets acrobatics. Oh my. Okay, never mind. Its move pool's really good. I hate this.
It gets exactly what it could need and nothing more.
It gets outrage.
Why would you use outrage? Never mind. It gets boom burst, which is cute as a dolphin.
I love that everybody's been asking for a dolphin Pokemon for so long, and then we did literally just get a dolphin.
Yep. That's great. And it's a good one, too.
I wonder if that was the same thing with the flamingo.
Yeah, the Flamingo's actually like a really cool Pokemon, and you can't convince me otherwise. I think it's very cute and very cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's a flamingo.
It's a Flamingo. This is Flamigo.
But this is Palafin's week, not Flamigos.
Yeah, we do have a team. It is a VGC team. I played exactly one match with it.
So we have the expert here.
I essentially know everything about this team. Is what I'm trying to say. But it's actually a really fun team. I guess I'll start with the bottom two because that's where Palafin is. Palafin, it's holding the choice scarf to make sure that you can always go first. For the most part, even without speed control. This is it's got its 0 to hero ability. Its Terra type is water, so that you can just hit harder when you go. 124 HP, 172 attack, 12 defense, 4 special defense, 196 speed, because you're already choice scarfed and you're just outrunning a few things that probably can cause issues pre-tailwind. And so That's really good. Like, Palafin's just good. I appreciate it. It's got Jolly Nature, so it goes fast. Wave Crash, Flip Turn, Close Combat, and Haze as a tech option. So if you're up against a Dondozo Tatsugiri lead, you can just haze them and then switch out, which is very fun. I really like that. I really, really like that. But yeah, there's also Garchomp because this is VGC right now, and this is the meta.
Right.
It's holding an Assault Vest. It's got Rough Skin, Terra-type Steel, so you can resist things like Fairy moves, which is somewhat typical of what you'll see on Garchomps. 172 HP, 92 attack, 4 defense, 4 special defense, 236 speed, because you're just trying to outspeed those base 100s anyway, so who cares? Adamant Nature, Earthquake, Dragon Claw, Rock Slide, and Stomping Tantrum. And this is just Garchomp. Like, that's just Garchomp. Did somebody else go?
So we've got a Salamence with a Life Orb with the ability Intimidate, Terra-type Steel, Eevee's 4 HP, 252 attack, 252 speed, and a Jolly Nature. We got Dual Wing Beat, Dragon Claw, Brick Break, and Tailwind to speed up those spicy picks.
That's so cool. Tailwind on Salamence.
So exactly the one thing that I like, the one game that I've played, the things that I've appreciated about this team thus far, because I've played a lot of VGC recently, is that I love that it has everything that your typical VGC team would, but in very unexpected places.
Right. Yeah.
Which I love, because your opponent doesn't know that my Salamence is here because it's going to Tailwind this turn. They're just scared because there's a Salamence on the other side of the field. And they're not... I guarantee you that nobody will expect the Palafin Haze. Nobody Nobody expects the Palafin Haze.
Choice Scarf Palafin Haze too. Like,
yeah, nobody's expecting this. Nobody's expecting it. But keep going, Basket.
All right, and then next up we've got a Sylveon with Throat Spray. Well, Throat Spray.
Enunciation.
Ability Pixelate, Terra-type Fire for those sweet resistances. And then we've got Eevee's 212 HP, 4 defense, 156 special attack, 4 special defense, and 132 speed. Modest Nature, Hyper Voice, Terra Blast, Quick Attack, and Protect.
Pretty standard Sylveon.
It is.
As far as like what is in VGC, the one thing that I see that's weirdly different about it is that it's got Throat Spray instead of something like Babbery Berry to go against Golden Go. But I mean,
Throat Spray is actually the more common item, I think, now.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, I believe so. I can fact check myself and be wrong, but let me look. But I'm pretty sure Throat Spray is the more popular item currently on Sylveon, only because you get the +1s and you can just start hitting things like really hard.
Yeah,
especially in terms of like a Trick Room team, which you're about to talk about.
Yeah,
it's definitely a big deal. Let me look.
Does Hyper Voice hit 2 things?
It does. It is
VGC?
spread. It is spread.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
It is spread.
So it's like, when was the last VGC where Sylveon was like a big...
literally like
never?
in Sword and Shield? No, this is a lie, Seth.
That's what I was thinking.
I don't know.
I thought it was in the first the first one where we went to 3D.
Yeah, Sylveon was around then too, for sure. Yeah, Sylveon, the number one. Okay, we were both right, Seth. The number one item is Babiri Berry at 28%, but following up in second place at 27.7%.
Oh, okay.
Is Throat Spray. So it's just like yeah, okay. So it's just one or the other. And then
I guess with the next 2 guys, you're not as concerned about the Make It Rain. So
no, you're not. No, you're not really. And even then, you just Terra into fire at that point.
That's true too. Yeah,
you just Terra into fire. But yeah, go ahead. Talk to us about the other 2.
Yep, I will start with the support guy first and then go into the big guy. It's Indeedee Female holding a Colbur Berry to stop dark attacks, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Colbur is dark. Ability is Psychic Surge, and its Terra type is Ghost for a reason. I forget exactly what. I read something recently, and that's a good type for it. I forget why. Oh, Population Bomb. That's why. Yep. Population Bomb.
Population. The option that I've seen for Indeedee to get around population bombs is just to hold the Rocky Helmet.
Yeah. EVs are 252 HP, 228 defense, and 28 special defense with a calm nature. I'm guessing those 28 special defense hit a bonus point, but what do I know? And the moves are Psychic, Follow Me, Protect, and Trick Room. A reminder that Psychic Surge sets up the psychic terrain for you, and Follow Me is good and annoying. Protect is VGC staple. Trick Room leads directly into our next guy, which is crazy. We've got Armor Rouge holding a weakness policy. Its ability is weak armor, and its terror type is dark, probably to keep weird things from hitting it. I forget. Probably, again, that Golden Go Shadow Ball or whatever.
Yeah.
Its EVs are 116 HP, 12 defense, 252 special attack, 4 special defense, and 124 speed with a modest nature. And its moves are Expanding Force, Armor Cannon, the fire type, special close combat or whatever, Wide Guard, and Protect. Very cool little set. Expanding Force, if you don't remember, it's the tutor move thing from Isle of Armor that does crazy amounts of damage when it's in psychic terrain, and it still retains stab even if it terrestrializes. It's also limited to Armor Rouge at this point in time. Nothing else
currently
gets it.
Until DLC, probably.
Maybe not.
Maybe.
Yeah, but we'll see.
I don't know.
But yeah, it's on Armor Rouge only. Armor Rouge is probably the biggest offensive backbone to this. You want a Trick Room and just smack something with Psychic Terrain boosted Expanding Force, and Weakness Policy plays right into it. You could even Earthquake yourself and do that. So, boom. This team got like 3rd place at a tournament in December?
Yeah,
is that
somewhere.
right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Not a tournament. Not a tournament. I think. I think
it's on the ladder or something.
On the ladder, yeah.
Okay.
Which ladder I don't know, but it's on a ladder.
Okay, maybe like the end of December. This was the 3rd place one. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to be the Pokemon of the episode. We are going to give those away to the patrons this week. So definitely head over to the Patreon if you want those in shiny forms. Other than that, we have one more segment, and it's our mailbag. So let's kick it on over to that.
It's mail time! Send in your emails! Mail!
Welcome to the Mailbag. The Mailbag is the part of the show where you can email us at puclpodcast@gmail.com, and we will read it on the show. We asked you guys about your regionals experiences and a bajillion other things that I forgot about, but we would love to read those. But first, before we do, we will give out the Green Tauros badge, as we are sponsored by that fictional energy drink that gives you hooves.
Hooves!
And we will go ahead and read the one and only email we got this week. Hopefully it's worthy of that Green Tauros badge. Thank you to Giorgio for this email. Hey, Puckle Gang. Doing the Cinderace raids has been a blast, especially using the Slowbro squad that was suggested in the Discord. My wife and I made a slight modification of our own, since the two of us wanted to train up the pokes ourselves, which is my favorite part about these raids, by the way, guys.
Right?
I love that idea so much.
I love that there's a reason to make competitive Pokemon one at a time, because you're fighting these guys. I imagine at the end of Scarlet and Violet, I'll just have like this gang of Pokemon that I've specifically made just to counter raids.
The raid staples, yeah.
The raid squad.
I love the idea. Especially if they make them hard like the Cinderace one. Please keep doing this. Keep doing this. Every month we just get a new guy. I took the Armor Rouge suggested, but invested in speed instead of special attack, running Will-O-Wisp and Acid Spray.
Ooh.
I would burn the Ace the first turn and Acid Spray for 3 more turns. She trained up a Slowking instead to put up Reflect first. Then she triple Nasty Plots. Boom, stored power.
Okay.
Like coordinated expert bunny hunters.
That's great.
Slowking snipes the bunny Okos every time like clockwork. He must have done 20 or more Cinderaces. I wonder how many Cinderaces were knocked out during that event now that I think about it. They used to keep track during the Sword and Shield ones, like when we had those big ones like the Zeraora.
I think we had to keep track because they promised, like, if we kill a bunch of Zeraoras, then
if you knock out 3 billion or something, you get a thing.
Yeah, there were incentives, yeah.
Remember the first time they ever did an online event and they like horribly overestimated how much people would do?
Yep.
And like we only got to like 1/10 of the way, and then they were like, and then they've horribly underestimated ever since.
Which is the better way to do it, honestly.
It was a well-oiled machine inspired by the Discord. Thank you very much, Sigma, Rotted, and Sharksfeeligan for posting the builds. Needless to say, we're rolling in candy on our picnic tables. Our level 100 Pokemon now. Thank you so much. You are more than welcome, Giorgio.
That's awesome.
Well, I think that deserves the green Tauros.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. Giorgio, you get the green Tauros badge. Please let us know if you need anything. All right. So if you want to email us next week at Puckle, this was a very short mailbag segment.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and email us next week at puclpodcast@gmail.com, letting us know what your favorite part of Crown Zenith or the Pokemon TCG is. We'd love to hear from you guys. I have slowly but surely building my cube. I'm very excited. One day I'll have it finished. One day, Seth, and we'll play it together.
I believe
Seth.
in you.
I believe in me too sometimes.
I contributed a fake Arcanine apparently to the cause.
You did.
So.
You did. You to be fair, you contributed a lot more, but
yeah,
the fake Arcanine is my favorite one.
I did not realize it was a fake.
No, I was just like going through all the cards, and I looked at the Arcanine. I'm like, this is like really off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was shadowless, and I was like,
Buddy of mine just dumped his entire collection on me. Yeah.
I did just buy a bunch of new ones, so we're actually going to be pretty close, I think. I think I bought something like 20-ish cards of the 40 that I'm missing.
Okay.
We're pretty close. We'll be there in the near future.
Nice.
Be there in the near future, and we'll be able to play it all together and have a good time.
Heck yeah.
I mean, we could always just do it on Tabletop Sim now, so...
Also true.
I do have it built on Tabletop Sim. All right. But yeah, you can email us at puclpodcast@gmail.com. Until then, though, come to our Discord, pucklediscord.com. You can, of course, keep up with us throughout the week on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You can, of course, watch us on Twitch at twitch.tv/thepucklepodcast. Now that I'm recalibrated, I'm going to come back this Tuesday with some kind of video game-y action on Twitch at twitch.tv/thepucklepodcast. Probably actually YouTube. But yeah, just follow us on Discord and on social medias, and you can see all that when we go live. And of course, you can always help support the show over at Patreon at patreon.com/pucklepodcast, where we have a bunch of cool rewards. On that note, though, I have been Trainer Thatch.
And I've been Basket.
And I've been Seth Vilo.
And here in the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's closing time.
Time in Lavender Town. Time to say our goodbyes. It's closing time. Farewell, my friends. I'll catch you on the flip side.